because he's got the defenses running in circles.
Good.
You're good. I can hear you. All right. So, Kaige, what is going on, my friend? How are you feeling after getting the hump off your guy's back and grabbing that first win?
Nah, we're feeling pretty good. We just gotta lock in and be ready for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Every week is about locking in. You got a big one this week as you get ready for that CVC Lake division play. It's a tough conference. It's a tough conference. I think it's very well. All the teams are pretty close when it comes to talent. You've got some big guys out there like the Geneva Eagles and Madison. Some teams that are really finding success early. But when I watch this Falcons team take the field, it doesn't seem like you guys are afraid of anybody.
Nah, we try not to be. We can't underestimate a team, but we can't think a team's too good. We just got to go out and play how we know how to play.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's one of the things you guys do. Maybe everybody else is doing this. I just know that you guys, I get to see the pictures and I get to follow you around, is your off-season work. The off-season work you guys put in, whether it's going into 7-on-7s, doing these drills and that sort of thing, has really come and made you guys a better football team. How has it helped you going out there? Because you guys have gone against some competition that guys around here haven't seen.
Yeah, we like to do summer workouts and whatever to understand how the scheme's gonna work, how we're gonna actually play, and going to 7-on-7s to communicate with each other on the field. So our secondary knows how to play with each other.
Well, yeah, you talk about the secondary, but let's talk a little bit about the offensive side of the ball as well. You go out there last week, 7 catches, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. You've got a quarterback right now that's just a junior, and this kid is red hot. Talk about the relationship between you and Dylan.
All the summer workouts, we try to 7-on-7s. We understand each other a little bit better now. The first few weeks were rough. We're starting to understand each other, understand how each other play. How it goes.
Absolutely. Well, you come into your senior year as a 4-year guy. You're going to get that letter this year, obviously, I would think. I don't know what the rules are at Jefferson, but if he hasn't gotten a letter, I never would have lettered. But, you come into this year, you guys had some big-time 7-on-7 work, including going out to Erie, playing some guys right here in Shaw, big-time guys on the defense. What were some of the things you and him worked on over the summer together?
We just run routes. We go, Coach Hanna calls off practice. We go up to the field some days. I run some fade balls. He throws them nice. I catch them. I usually score. That's just how it works now.
So, you talk about the fade ball, and obviously you are not afraid to go over the middle, probably scaring the death out of your parents because you go in the middle and, it doesn't matter if they're 300 pounds or 130 pounds, you're catching the ball and running the same. But, what is your favorite route to run? Do you like going over the middle and getting busy, or do you like to just show off the wheels?
It doesn't matter the route, really. It just depends how Dylan throws the ball and how our line blocks. Any route, I'm going to get open, and everyone knows that.
I love it. I'll tell you what, no shortage of confidence, that's for sure. And I think a lot of that comes in, you've been a starter on this team since your freshman year. Coming in, I think you started later in the year as a freshman, but definitely found some time, with that great team. And, you've bounced between quarterback and wide receiver, primarily playing receiver.
Yeah.
But you've gotten some time at quarterback. Do you think that time at quarterback has actually helped you as a wide receiver?
Yeah, of course. Being able to see the field as a quarterback is way different than a wide receiver. Quarterback, you understand how, if you're playing wide receiver, you understand how you want the ball.
Yeah.
So when you play quarterback, you know how to throw it to your receivers.
And you guys have a really talented receiving core this year.
Yeah.
It's you, Devin Salinas, Joel Navarro, and we can't forget Terry Brown.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of guys who can make plays in a lot of different ways. Do you think that time at quarterback helped you with the spacing as well?
Yeah, of course. I try to help them how to run their routes. They're picking it up. They understand. I understand. We just know how to do it. Then Dylan knows how to understands how to throw the ball to us.
Yeah, and again, I will always go back to, a lot of people kind of poo-poo on 7-on-7s,
Yeah.
and I think if you're an offensive lineman, yeah, you can poo-poo on it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're a defensive lineman, go ahead. But I think when it comes to pure wide receiver, defensive back, and definitely quarterback route, I don't think there's any better way to practice except against each other.
Yeah, of course.
So, of all these 7-on-7s you guys have done, and you guys have gone all over the place. I mean, the gas mileage you guys have put under
Yeah.
to get these 7-on-7s is astronomical. Which one is your favorite that you've been to so far?
That we ever played?
Yeah.
Um
I didn't prep him for this one. I prepped him for a couple, but this one is going to catch him off guard.
uh Cleveland Heights was cool because they Cleveland talks a lot.
Yeah.
You start understanding how different communities work. It's
Yeah.
fun. But we all respect each other. They respect us. We respect them.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of the game. People sometimes get caught up a little bit in the chitter chatter, and that's all fine and well. But once the whistle is blown, you do a great job of dropping it, leaving it on the field,
Yeah.
shaking hands, and keeping it that way.
Yeah, you just gotta have what's it called? Sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Everyone after the game you just become friends. It's not that big of a deal, win or lose.
That's exactly it. You guys are enemies for 60 minutes,
Yeah.
and it can be all good and
Yeah.
well afterwards.
Yeah.
So, you're a multi-sport athlete. You have been since you've been in high school. Primarily in track, you have made a big name for yourself there as
Yeah.
well. Talk a little bit about track and how that kind of helped you with football.
Just really with the speed. I'm not really a good 400 runner, but Coach Furman.
Guess what? I'm not either.
Coach makes me run it a few times, and I hate him for it. But it helps me in the long run.
So you don't like the 400. What
No.
event do you like running the most?
The 100.
The 100.
Yeah,
The 100. I'll tell you what. I can remember. I can remember at the combine this year. You said you've never looked at the back of a track jersey.
Nah, not really. No.
So you're a multi-sport athlete. You did some wrestling early
Yeah.
in your high school career as well. You play on both sides of the ball, wide receiver, defensive back. I think they even put you in at some linebacker at
Yeah, a
times.
little
I
bit.
know either that or you're getting nosy on the line.
A little bit.
Which side of the ball do you like to play more? Do you like to lay the hits or do you like to get away from them?
It depends who we're playing. Really. Either side's fun when everyone else is doing their job. Like when we play offense, if the line's doing their job, if quarterback's doing their job, and we get some yards, it's fun there. Then if we start making tackles, being hype and all that, it's fun doing that.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that as well. When you talk about the culture at Jefferson,
Yeah.
one of the things that I've noticed is the celebration of everybody,
Yeah.
the celebration of everybody's tackle, everybody's touchdown, whether you made it, the JV kid made it, or
Yeah.
whatever. Talk a little bit about that and how Coach Hannah wanted to make sure you guys are into that.
We all want to be close. We all want to understand each other. We all want to become a family. That's all.
That's what it is. I mean, you guys have a bunch of acronyms out there. There's
Yeah.
GRIT, BTC, family. I mean, there's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of them. You guys trademark it. It might pay
Yeah.
for the new turf you guys are going to get in,
Maybe.
5 years. So, coming into this year, you had a tough junior year.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep your head in the game, especially a guy like you that even through that tough year, you always found a way to get into the end zone, to make those plays. How do you keep that tenacity in those games where maybe a lot of kids would just kind of push it to the side?
It's hard to do, but really, if you have a good mindset and everyone's following you, everyone will understand. We can win next week, even if they don't think we are. We can win next week. You just got to be a leader in that sense.
Yeah, and let's go into that leadership. So, you go into that junior year. I always say freshman year, you're finding yourself.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, you continue. Junior year, you established yourself. Now this year, you're the guy. They got to look to you. They're looking for leadership qualities. What are some things that you wanted to make sure you did this year as one of a few seniors on the team?
Yeah. No, I want to make sure I hype everyone up from the JV kids to the varsity to the other senior. Hyping up Dylan, hyping up the O line, D line, no matter who it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've noticed you've gotten a lot more vocal. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure you talked too much as a
Yeah.
freshman. I can remember that interview.
Yeah.
But this year, you've gotten a lot more vocal, a lot more sure of yourself out
Yeah.
there, and it's great to see. Still half of a season and hopefully more. Playoffs aren't off the table yet,
Yeah.
baby. But you're halfway through this regular season, and you've had a pretty great career at Jefferson. What is your favorite moment in Falcon football?
It has to be West Branch when we beat West Branch at Niles. It was it felt like a movie because as soon as after we won, it started snowing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
I was there doing the
yeah.
interview with Coach Hanna, and no snow during the game.
Yeah, no.
But
snow.
you guys were holding off the weather.
Yeah, it was a perfect night. It was a perfect night.
What was it like playing in that game? Because, let's not make any bones about it. There are favorites, and then there was what West Branch was in that game.
No, it was stressful. Like dealing with Coach Hanna sometimes, it gets stressful.
I'll tell you what, he finds a way to get the absolute best out of you guys, no matter what you guys are doing, no matter how much the odds are stacked against you. And, you've had the privilege of playing in two separate conferences.
Yeah.
You guys play in that monster of an NE8 conference for your first 2 years, and now you guys are in the CVC Lake.
Yeah.
I would say equally as difficult. I think, there's teams in both conferences that are going to give you a run for your money.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about what it's like getting to play these guys that I always say you share a Walmart with.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. No, it's fun because we all know each other. But, we all talk during the game. But, after the game, it's all about respect. We all care about each other and make sure no one gets hurt.
That's fantastic. That's what you like to hear. You know what I mean? You got to be a competitor when it's time to be a competitor, and that's one of the things you've definitely shined about. When Kaige Boczar is on the field, you guys had a big game against Orange. Talk about going into that game and things you wanted to make sure you got done in that game in particular.
Really, we're only focused about winning. We just wanted to do what we wanted to do. We wanted the O-line to block. They did great. They did fantastic that game. And QB threw some good balls. We just played football.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You had a team coming in Orange. They're riding a high.
Yeah.
4-0. First time that they've been 4-0 since probably before you were born.
Yeah.
And they come into this one high on the horse. You guys go out there and get it done. And all the way to the end because those guys never quit.
Yeah. No, it was a hard game. Yeah. 50-42. We just had to keep going.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You got to keep scoring. The name of the game is scoring more than they did, and you guys did exactly that. You guys get to start off. You're going to open up conference play this week against Conneaut. Now, Conneaut has had a tougher start than they would like as well. They've taken some tough losses. Opened it up with an absolute thriller against Grand Valley. But it's a quality team. I think it's a well-coached team. They've got some big guys. They've got some great athletes. Conneaut aside, what does Kaige Boczar have to do on Friday night to make sure that the Jefferson Falcons start off conference play with a win?
We just got to play football.
We
just got to play football.
It's a simple answer, and that's okay. Yeah, you got to play football. What are some things you're looking forward to? Have you guys done homecoming yet? Is that what's going on with
homecoming is against Lakeside.
Oh.
So I think it's the week after, the October 4th. Whatever week that is. Yeah.
So that's a pretty big game. I know every game matters, but some games, they get a little bit more juice than others, right?
Yeah. It'll probably feel the same. Terry's going to be hyped about it. We're all going to play good.
Well, I'll tell you what, you probably don't remember because you're a young guy, but that Lakeside Jefferson rivalry used to be a pretty big one.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was a pretty big one back in the day, and I think a lot of people in the community are looking forward to watching that. No pressure, go out there, play your game. No big deal. If Kaige plays the way Kaige plays, you're gonna make big plays, no matter what it is. I'll tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to interview you this year. I knew you were gonna be out here again. You're a big time athlete. What is one thing that you want people to remember about Kaige Boczar?
Not even remembering me. It's just remembering the team, how we play together. I want them to remember my team other than just me.
I like that. He doesn't want you guys to remember Kaige. He wants you to remember the teams that Kaige was on. Kaige, thank you so much for coming on the show. Congratulations. This week's Player of the Week for Week 5. I'll get there eventually. It's Monday. Kaige Boczar, ladies and gentlemen.